What I'm about to show you is how one headshot can turn you into a damage tank. With the 4-piece, you get a stacking mechanic plus 2 flex slots that actually multiply your damage. This setup hits harder and is way more versatile. Let me explain how Heartbreaker works. The 4-piece bonus gives you weapon damage and armor for each enemy you have pulsed. But here's the key: you don't need a pulse skill. All you need is one headshot and the enemy becomes pulsed. Once they're pulsed, you start building stacks on that target. Each stack gives you more weapon damage and armor. It's pretty simple. Headshot, pulse, stack, destroy. Here's my exact gear setup: 4-piece Heartbreaker plus Fenris chest piece and Coyote mask. I'm gonna get into specifics soon. The weapons I run, it depends. Like if I'm doing PvP or PvE. For PvE, I run the St. Elmo's engine, ACS, Ouroboros. Yeah, that's like the main 3. You can run whatever you want with this build. It does not matter. I do recommend running the ACS because you get stacks really fast, or a fast rate of fire weapon if you don't have the ACS. So like you can run your Ouroboros with assault rifle or LMG, because Heartbreaker gives a 15% LMG damage boost. Yeah, that's gonna be for weapons. I'm gonna go through this really quick. It's gonna be a quick video. For Coyote's mask, I have weapon damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and a critical hit damage mod. If you don't know what Coyote's mask is, you and all allies gain a bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. So 0 to 15 meters is 25% critical hit damage, 15 to 25 meters is 10% critical hit damage and 10% critical hit chance, 25 plus meters is 25% critical hit chance. So this mask is really important because this is where your damage comes from. And I also swapped this out with Catharsis, but the Coyote's mask drops from the boss named Coyote in the Jefferson Trade Center mission. Here are the exact rate drops by difficulty. So if you're doing story mode, it's 1%, normal 2%, hard 3%, challenging 4%, heroic 5%, and then legendary, it doesn't say, but I think it's 6%. You would think the best method is to run heroic difficulty, so you guys have the highest drop rate, and then I would run it with like 4 people. So if you guys do the mission a couple times, one of you will get it. Alternative farming options: you can run summit, you can do control points and missions that reward mask through open world activities. All right, moving on to the chest piece. I'm rocking Fenris chest piece, which gives me 10% assault rifle damage plus to 15%, and then my talent is unbreakable. When my armor gets depleted, I get repaired 95% of my total armor. I'd rather have like critical hit chance and critical hit damage on this, but explosive resistance is really good if you're doing PvE. And then because of like grenadiers, they just spam grenades, especially if you play on legendary. It gets pretty annoying. And armor regen is always good to have. Moving on to the holster. So I have armor rolled on it. I need to get max armor. This build is not optimized at all. And I was soloing legendary and I was hanging in conflict. This build is really easy to get. All you need to do is go to summit, target loot on Heartbreaker, and just run a couple floors and you'll get it.